Marvel Nation, welcome everybody. Welcome. We have the amazing Dark Matter Monday finale. Well, it's actually not the Dark Matter Monday finale, but it's the Dark Matter finale. And maybe Joel will tell us more about that. Hello, Arwen. Hello, Purple, Valkyrie, Gary, everybody, Susanna, Neil, Deej, Jen, Gray, Scap, Stargate, Darius, Alan Cox. Pug Mama Kemi is here. Welcome, Kemi. Nick the Stick, Philip, everybody who's in here. Garrett, welcome. We have an amazing show. Surprises. Also, our buddy Rambling Canuck. We're also fundraising for Rambling. Rambling, we are all with you. And the first, let's get started, guys. And I want to welcome our favorite intergalactic meteorologist, Katie Nicolau. Welcome. Really quick, guys. Let me start first. All right. Let me start first. Welcome, Katie.
Hey, how's it going?
Before we start, I want to say something. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna ask you guys for tonight. And I know you guys have already started with your being generous, but I'm going to ask no super chats tonight, guys, if you don't mind. I mean, if you must, fine, but I would really prefer that we support Rambling Canucks GoFundMe. And we have our wrenches are going to be putting that out, and I'm going to be putting that out. So we all know that our friend Rambling is going through something very serious, and we are with you, Rambling. Katie, how are you?
I am doing great. I just got a really good nap in, so I'm energized and ready to just talk about Orville.
There you
Orville
go.
Nation and Dark Matter.
There you go. Hey, we were just talking backstage. Are you as ticked off as I am at those very last minutes of watching this episode?
See, I'm not ticked off at the last minutes. I'm ticked off at the black screen that appeared after it.
Exactly.
It was so good. You have so many things set up, and now I understand the rage that everyone has.
Oh my God, so many things set up. Joe planted so many seeds. Like,
oh my gosh,
there's
yes.
so much going on.
Could have gone on for like 8 more seasons with all that content.
I know. It's like he jam-packed like to be the end of season 3 with all these loose threads that need to be tied down. Wow. All right. Let's bring in Dr. Adega Outlaw. And before I bring in Dr. Adega, Nina, you're probably sitting on the beach listening to us. Enjoy yourself. We'll see you soon. Take care, my friend. And let's introduce Dr. Adega Outlaw. Welcome, Doctor.
Hey. And Katie, welcome to the club.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. Like that carton of eggs could totally hold up until I got to the sci-fi headquarters. That's all I'm gonna say.
Right.
Ooh,
no, this is the bittersweet, and it's even more so because we've been going episode by episode, and we don't have any more episodes to go through.
So sad.
Yeah. Wow.
But I made
guys,
it. I will point out, I made it without binging the entire thing.
That is impressive. That is very impressive.
Now there's nothing left to binge, so I feel safe.
I can't believe you did that. Wow. Really quick, guys. Katie, anything new with you?
Yeah, we have our Order of the Blue Lotus stream this week, unless another semi decides to break my windshield, in which case I will be very upset. But we're going to be streaming at 5:30 Central Time, 6:30 Eastern, over on my channel, So Many Random Fandoms, which I'll put the link in the chat below.
Please do. And Dega, really quick, anything going on with you?
Same stuff, different day. Everything's plugging along. I know my publisher's getting quite excited, so that ought to give you something to think about. I just go along. And Katie, I have been in your audience. I just don't say anything. Quiet.
Secret. So are you watching Avatar?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
What do you think so far?
Oh, no, I've watched the whole thing several times.
Oh, okay then.
I'm an old hat. Yeah.
All right, guys. I need to bring in, don't forget about airbending on Wednesdays.
Water
I need to bring
bending.
in really quick. Stone Loki is going to take the place of Nina today. And welcome, Loki. How are you?
I am doing great. How are you doing, PJ?
Good to have you here, my friend.
Hey, brother.
Hello, Adega. Hello, Katie. It's so good to see you again, Katie.
Yes, you too.
Have we made another Dark Matter fan with Loki?
Oh, dude, I'm liking it. I skipped ahead a little bit because I was in the middle.
Yeah,
I was in
yeah.
season 2, but yes. You have another Dark Matter fan.
Can you tell us really quick? Just tell us for people who don't know, really quick, what's Rambling's situation? Because you're the one who set up the GoFundMe for Rambling.
Me and Bird had a conversation. We were trying to do something for Rambling. Rambling's kidneys were failing. He has been going through this for years. Inflammation. He can't take medicines. He's not able to work. This is not someone that is just trying to coast by. This is someone with serious medical condition that has not been able to stand up on his own. And we are standing up with Rambling Canuck. Rambling is a brother. PJ, I met him here. I do not know if you remember this or not, brother, but you invited me to that Picard. We're going to talk about Picard. And I was like, brother,
oh my God.
Yes.
You guys went at it like there was no tomorrow. Holy crap.
And at the end of the day, we're both Trek fans. We both saw that, but we went at each other like cats and dogs. We were yelling, we were screaming. He was like, "You said he should die." I said, "I didn't say that." And he said, "Well, someone on this panel did." And man, we were just locking horns. But at the end of the day, we both love Trek, and that brought us together. That brought our friendship together. We started talking. We started doing shows together. Rambling does a show on my morning show on Tuesday where we're going over old Trek, TNG, DS9 with Vance Major Owen, and he is such a good guy. Everybody, he is such a fan. He is a true fan. And thank you, DJ. Thank you. I'll move the mic closer. So Canuck has this problem with his kidneys, guys. He has just started dialysis, but he needs everyone's help. He needs this community's
and he's been
help.
Put on the transplant list as well. So
yes,
it's not. Yeah, it's no joke, guys. All right, we need to bring in now. I want everybody standing ovation for the amazing creator who has made this wonderful universe and has provided us with so much fun and so much just listen. I gotta say, but before I bring in Joe, we're gonna talk about Joe for a sec. It's been such an honor, and Dave and I talk about this all the time, and Katie too. It has been such an honor to actually go through Dark Matter with the creator of Dark Matter, with the executive producer of Stargate. Go ahead, Dega.
I'm just going to say, not just the producer, not just the showrunner. He has done more sci-fi television than anyone when it comes to episodic television. He is it. He leads them all.
And he was like the greatest. I think he was the greatest contributor as far as executive producer to the Sci-Fi Channel, and and as far as a human being, just a wonderful guy. He's become a good friend to us. And Joe, we love you. Let's just give a standing ovation to Dark Matter creator Joe Mallozzi. Welcome, Joe.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm blushing. Thank you for that, and thank you all. This has been a lot of fun, and as PJ mentioned, this will not be the last Dark Matter Monday, because for all those fans who were kind of hanging on, totally enraged by this cliffhanger, we actually convened the writers' room for season 4, and we spun ideas for those first 6 or 7 episodes. And so what I did was I did virtual episodes in that sort of, I broke down sort of what we had planned. Every scene included images to go with every scene. And one of the fans actually put the first 2 to video. So next week we'll review those and we'll discuss and we can even talk a little bit about the miniseries I'm developing. who knows what the future
Wow.
holds.
Sweet.
Wow, amazing.
And Stone Loki, hey, welcome.
How is it going, Joe?
I am doing well, thank you.
Joey, I mean, Loki is like crazy Stargate fan, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
I loved it. It probably my number one series, that SG1, the original series. I'm a huge fan.
Mhm.
Love it. I've even said it's better than Star Trek. There are moments in it that are better than Star Trek. I love the evolution of, we're going from this ragtag team visiting worlds to we've got spaceships and shit.
Mhm.
When I saw Prometheus the first time, I was like, yeah, we've got a ship. We've got a ship. Can we name it Enterprise? And then Jack's like, hey, we can't name the ship Enterprise. We can't name the ship Enterprise. And when Carter said that, I was like, you right there. I'm with it. I love it.
You know, I share the same love for SG1 in particular because it was my first big sci-fi show. And also, yeah, absolutely. I mean, after 10 years, though, of going to other planets and accessing alien technology, you think that they would have, advanced a little. And they did. They did. So thank you for that. Hey,
Joe, we have two people backstage.
Okay, so we
They
did mention
just got in.
two special guests. I
But
guess
we might need to give them a minute to get their cameras up, though.
okay. You give me the go ahead, and then I
Okay.
will introduce one and then the other, because I did say we would have some surprise guests today,
Ooh.
it's lovely to see them because I haven't.
Oh, one of them has a pet with them.
Aw.
Oh.
Doesn't get better than that.
Oh.
I think they're both. I think they're both ready to go.
All right. Oh, Akemi's actually very excited when you said that. First up is an actress who auditioned for the role that she got, and it was her first actual TV role. Before that, she was doing really well on stage, and we had to kind of pull her away to do our show. And I remember when I first saw her audition, I was like, this is exactly the character as I imagined her. And at that point, I got very anxious because, there were the network and Jay were weighing in, and I really needed her to be too. And it turned out she wasn't. She was an excellent too. Melissa O'Neill.
Welcome, Melissa.
Yay!
It's an honor to have you.
And Taya.
How absolutely wonderful.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, thanks for having
Thank you
us.
for sharing.
Taya, Taya is Dark Matter alumni as well. So
Yes.
We actually did mention that when we were screening the episode. People were like, was that Lulu? And I was like, actually, no, that was Taya.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
Awesome.
That's such a good puppy.
We're so
Thank-
glad you could finally join us, Melissa. Thank you.
You've been busy, right?
Thank you
have
so
been
much.
Working,
I'm
have you
really
been
glad to
working
be
since
here.
Dark Matter?
I should have done this a lot sooner. I remember you texting me and I blanked on it, and then it just kept going every week. And every week you guys had guests, and I was like, oh, shucks, I missed my opportunity.
Well, I'm glad you came. And without further ado, I'm going to introduce one more guest. And this actress auditioned, and before she had auditioned, an actor had come in and auditioned for the role because it was we opened the roles up to all genders for this character, and done it with a British accent. Everybody was like, wow, that character with a British accent is really good. It's really interesting. And then after she did the audition, she was great. I asked, can you do it with a British accent? And she did, nailed it. And then just kind of the thrower, I said, can you do it with a Jamaican accent? And she did, and nailed it. And I filed that away. So I ended up writing a scene later in season 9 where she did a Jamaican accent. The lovely and talented ZOIE PALMER.
Woo!
Welcome, Zoe. It's an honor to have you.
Hi, guys. Hello.
We have been waiting so long for both of you to be here. We have
Amazing.
one of the greatest women in sci-fi who represents strength, brains, the whole business. And then we have Zoe, who great in sci-fi, but your acting chops, watching you go through all the different accents within 10 seconds on one scene, changing characters. You guys are wonderful. I can't tell you how excited we are about this. You should see the chat exploding. This is great. Thank you for being here.
It's our pleasure.
This is really nice because I haven't seen the ladies since, I want to say, like, was it like a year and a half ago or a year ago? We did the HomeCon panel, and we got like the cast together. That was the last time I saw your faces.
Yeah, it's
And
been a
you
while.
haven't changed at all.
It's been a while.
Hmm.
I was gonna say, you guys still look
So your
amazing.
hair is
Like,
so long.
you look great.
Yeah, your hair is long.
Thanks.
Wow.
Thank you.
I was saying, you know, I was rewatching the finale and got angry all over again. But you know, it's really nice to see Melissa and Zoe and Tater, of course, who also I haven't seen in ages.
I know.
Let me ask
Joe,
Melissa and Zoe. Oh, go ahead, Melissa. Sorry.
No. I think I'm experiencing a bit of a lag, so I'm gonna just like wait a little bit before I ever speak again.
Finish your thought.
No worries.
But finish your thought.
No.
Go ahead, PJ.
Okay,
You had a
well,
question.
I was going to ask both Zoe and Melissa. You probably had no idea that Dark Matter was coming to an end at the end of season 3. How did you ladies feel when it did?
Oh, I mean, really sad because, of course, we were aware that the intention was to tell the story in 5 seasons. So, you know, in this industry, you never know if you're getting another season. It's always like that. But you don't always know that there's a kind of an idea in mind. You don't always know that there's a full story trying to be told. And so I think the disappointment, it's always disappointing when a series ends, but that's kind of the nature of our business. But in this case, it was just really unfortunate not to be able to tell the story that Joe really wanted to tell, and we wanted to tell with him. Yeah.
Melissa?
Yeah, I really echo those sentiments. And the other neat thing about it's not neat. I mean, the show wrapped and we were all gutted. And then what unfolded on the internet was really heartwarming to see that like other people were affected as much as we were and wanted to see it finish. And so I'm really excited. I'm here to listen to what Joe is going to be pitching in the fall. Like I want to make sure that
I know, I just heard this.
in that way. So I was like, okay, I gotta show up.
No, well, it's something that I always had kind of held out hope for. Basically, the potential for a 4-season pickup is remote, but the possibility of doing a limited miniseries, like let's say a 6-episode miniseries, to kind of wrap up, anyway, season 4 and offer some closure was always a possibility. But I think time had to pass, and so I was in contact with our friend Jay. And I floated the idea to him, and he is the guy who has the connection. So creatively, what I would like to do is I have the idea for the miniseries that would more or less encapsulate what I had planned for season 4. It would pick up 3 years after we left our crew. So it's a good jumping on point for new viewers, but also, you know, allows for the possibility if any of our cast members are unusually busy, I can find a creative way to work around to ensure that everyone is as involved as they can be, you know, while at the same time sort of ensuring that their characters stay alive, and I offer the fandom some closure. I get to tell at least 4 out of 5 chapters. And then basically if the miniseries does well, if it gets picked up, if the miniseries does well, there's an opportunity for a 5th and final one.
I just need a moment, guys. I will be back in 2 seconds. Please excuse me.
Run like the wind.
I love how Planet Thogar was like, maybe a 26 episode miniseries?
Right, yeah.
Maybe.
That's okay. It gives me a chance to fan on Melissa now that she's gone, because at the beginning, you know, you always look to see who's going to play what they're going to do. And your ability to act as such a powerful person It was almost instant where people were watching with the very first episode. We have our leader. She's amazing. And all the way through, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I know I said it before, and I'm going to fan, but that's just the way I am.
Well, she was very strong in the audition. I don't know if you remember, Melissa, but you came in and did the audition, and then I asked you to sort of change something, and I got some pushback from Melissa. She was like, I don't know if this character would do that. I was like, huh.
That's because I was new at acting and I didn't understand. You know what? I'm still learning that lesson. I learn that lesson all the time. Even just on the show that I'm working on right now, I had a big learning moment when I was like, I realized how rigid and attached I can get to my ideas because I'm like, I prepped this. I really prepped this character. Like, did you prep for hours? And I feel like it's ridiculous. And so it's been a real learning process for me to relax my grip, which can be really strong. And I really got like flavors of how that affects people when I was working with Joe. I was like, maybe there's something wrong with this thing I'm doing. Like, maybe
no, but it was actually great though. I mean, you know, for the audition, it was a little surprising, but basically it was great because I was like, that's the character. So I'm glad she's very passionate. And then, you know, whenever you go into production, I always say when you craft these characters, you develop these characters, it's a symbiotic relationship. I mean, I created the characters in the pilot, and then, you know, you and ZOIE embodied these characters. And, you know, especially, for instance, in the case of ZOIE, the android was supposed to be more of a supporting character, and the scripts kept coming in short. And because of Zoe's performance, I ended up writing those extra scenes for the android and elevating her so that by the end of the series run, she's sitting down at that family table, which is very sort of, you know, symbolically for me, very much her acceptance as a member of the family. And you know, there is that scene in the previous episode where 2 says to the android, you know, you get a say, you're a member of this family, you're a member of this crew, which, you know, kind of like, in my mind, kind of completed her journey as kind of the isolated individual. But I mean, it's always a very symbiotic relationship. And I know that, you know, it really depends on the situation. I know I've heard stories of other productions where the showrunners go, you know, are banging heads with the actors, and it can make for a very unpleasant on-set experience. But I have to say, you know, this cast was always amazing. And, you know, Melissa, there were plenty of times when you would come and say, you know, I don't know about this dialogue or this or that, or ZOIE, I would always get, you know, Melissa is always great at sending the voice messages, whereas ZOIE would always text. I would get more text from ZOIE than any other cast member. You know, and it would be like, can we change this or can we do this? And like I said, it was always a very collaborative relationship, which was always a lot of fun.
Would you say that's a good thing, though, Joe? Obviously in a respectful way. Ask, because when you're writing something, it may look great on paper, but then you hand that over to your actor, your actress. Would my character really do this? Would my character really say this?
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why we had the read through. Really, the sole reason I really want to have those read through was so that everyone be on the same page and would eventually sort of come to me if they had any issues. Like Roger was always first one up. Right after the table read, he would like have the notes and he'd come into my office and he'd be like, you know, how about this, this, and this? And then, you know, with Melissa and ZOIE would be during prep, whereas with Anthony, it was at the end, like we'd be on set and he'd be like, maybe I can be eating a chicken or a lamb chop in this scene.
A whole rotisserie chicken.
Yes. That was my favorite. Like I remember in episode, was it season 2, where he desperately wanted to have something, and Victoria, our props manager, was like, I have this lamb shank, but I only have one. That was our hero lamb shank. So it's like, we can take it easy on the lamb shank. We kept on doing the scene, and by the end, he was like gnawing on the bone. It was actually great.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So intense.
Yeah.
What's happening?
I gotta be honest, I wasn't sure when the scene popped up if Rio would be dead or alive. It was a very Schrodinger's cat end to last week's episode. Mm-hmm. So was pleasantly surprised he happened to survive.
And did you like the turn?
I did. I don't like Rio. I still want him kind of crushed under a boulder, but I accept it. Like he could still be good.
Okay, good to hear. Good to hear.
So you were actually really going to kill Rio here, Melissa?
I'm not gonna lie, guys. I don't know why we're looking at the photo of my face. What's happening right now? Is it just
we put up slides from the show as we go through, because we review the episode, and this is the beginning of the episode.
And oh my gosh, guys, I'm having like crazy flashbacks right now, and I apologize for coming in on this party on the last day because I'm fully like sprinting to catch up in this moment. Yes, excuse I was about to murder my former crewmate.
Yes. I was going to say you should check out this episode. It's really good.
Melissa, if you leave and come back, your lag might improve.
Okay.
If you
Like
leave and come
exit
back.
out completely.
Exit out, yeah. It might improve.
Okay, bye. I'll be right back.
Zoe, one of the things we talked about on this show is the fact that you got to play so many different characters, different versions of the android. Like we're talking like there's Randroid, there's your original android, there's you play Dr. Shaw, you play the human form. You know, it was always a delight to have you play all these different parts. Like, did you have a favorite? I assume the android was your favorite?
I was trying to give Tatiana Maslany a run for her money. Did I have a favorite android? I don't know. I mean, no, I don't think so. I really liked them all for totally different reasons. You know, I loved sort of the original android, and there was kind of a childlike sort of innocence about her that I really enjoyed sort of figuring out. But the red android was a lot of fun too, because she was just so sort of, you know, clinical and without any of that stuff that we had come to know about the android. And it's just fun as an actor to kind of find that stuff. And then Dr. Shaw, like, you know, that was a huge surprise to me. Obviously, I had no idea that character. There I am playing the ukulele with yeah.
That has to be one of my favorite scenes from the entire show.
Yeah, that was a bananas episode.
That was tons of fun, actually.
And
then I got the ukulele. I still have the one that I learned to play the song on because I wanted to actually learn to play it. And I have that, and I sort of started playing the ukulele from that moment on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
You know, Joe had mentioned, and we are all in agreement with this, there was one point when the awards for Canada were coming out and they had listed the top 20 androids in sci-fi, and we all know you should have been at least in the top 5 out of all of sci-fi, and you weren't even on the list. Phenomenal work.
Outrageous.
No joke, I'm serious.
That's amazing.
It is a great injustice. It is a great injustice.
Not only were you not in the top 5, you weren't even on the.
It was not Canada. It was a Sci-Fi Wire.
Oh, okay. Well,
I remember it.
No.
I remember it.
There's some beloved androids out there in the world, though. There's a lot of them.
And you're one of them.
I know it was Sci-Fi Wire because I was very impolitic and actually left a comment on their article. But anyways, yes. And also you got like, I mean, you guys had like some amazing wardrobe, courtesy of Noreen Landry and her team. So basically Android, you've got, I mean, setting aside sort of all your various kind of beautiful outfits when you kind of went and played the human, but you had 3 versions. You had that like the blue unitard, which I suspect was your least favorite.
I liked it. I mean, it was the easiest.
Was it?
Well, yeah, I just would get in and zip it up.
Zip it up? Okay.
Yeah.
And
the only snag was the bathroom. I had to take the entire thing down to the ground. And just be on the toilet naked. Like, That's how that went every time. That was the only downside to that. Otherwise, it was very comfortable and breathed nicely. But then the white one, they put in like it was a jacket, so I could take down the.
And then the white one had the heels, right?
Yes. Yeah, one of them had the heels, which was actually difficult because I stood on one spot quite a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So that was hard at times in the heels to stand in one spot for 14 hours.
Now, Zoe and Melissa, did you guys actually keep any of your costume pieces?
No, I did not.
What? I have your costumes, by the way, Zoe, if you want.
You didn't keep an android suit?
No, I mean I didn't know where I'd wear it.
You put it in a
Yeah, and then there was that one.
I told the story about that one, where basically I don't know if the fitting was different than the final version, but I came on set and it was more décolleté, shall we say, than we. So we talked about it. And I was like, noticed. Yeah, and so, but I remember we talked about it, and I was like, you know what? And you were like, we need to address this, and I was like, you're right. You know what? I'm going to write a scene, and so we ended up. I read that scene with you and the infamous boob scene. That is a fan favorite, surprisingly or not.
Loved it.
Well, yeah, because it was so clearly going on, and we had to say something about it because it was so bizarre that I had like stuff up to my chin nearly for like seasons upon seasons, and then all of a sudden I come out in this. But the thing about that costume was that for some reason one side jumped out a bit more than the other side.
Oh.
And we were forever, and I mean forever, trying to even them out for the take. I think even in that shot, yeah.
I really liked your episode with the other android, Wendy. The way you were treated a certain way by the crew, your character was treated a certain way, and then this other android gets introduced, and they're all fawning over this other android, and you're like, well, I want to be like too. Yeah. I want people to like. I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed the way how innocent you played it, how she was very, very innocent, but still there was a touch of emotion there of I want to be liked by everybody too.
I want to be the favorite. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have to say, with Android and 2 in particular, it's a mix of the writing and the acting, but very rarely do you hit female notes in sci-fi like this. They were both incredibly powerful, they were feminine, and they were able to show their sexuality in a way that felt natural instead of forced. And I think it came through in the writing and definitely in the acting. And as a female who loves sci-fi, it is very much appreciated the work you guys put into this because you crafted 2 beautifully elegant female characters.
Agreed.
And I'm going to quote you on that, Katie. What is it? Natural android sexuality. I'll remember that.
There you go.
I think
it didn't feel forced.
Both Zoe and Melissa were great at playing the strong character, but what I think was really important for me was to create characters that were flawed and vulnerable as well. And that's where, I think, their performances really resonated with the fan and gave their characters so much depth. Because, I mean, it's got almost a cliche now, sort of the kick-ass female character in sci-fi, but it's kind of rare you see kind of beneath the surface, and you kind of explore kind of the vulnerabilities and what makes them human. And Melissa and Zoe did, such a wonderful job. So
that's another thing about Melissa's characters, because the strength comes through, but there's that backstory that pieces out every once in a while, and you could see that you acted it great, that there was a hidden vulnerability that you were hiding desperately. I don't know what was going, I mean, if you want to explain it, that'd be great, but whatever you were using for thought process for that, it worked perfectly. We all saw that, yeah, you're strong, but she's hiding it. It's back there.
I just want to remind let me just say one thing. Sorry, I just want to remind everybody, guys. This one of the things we're doing on this stream is raising for Rambling. Please, everybody, go take a look at the GoFundMe that's being posted. Our friend, he's going through kidney failure and he is on a transplant list. Please, guys, take a look at it. Thank you. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Who was it? Melissa or was it Zoe?
Melissa.
Melissa, we're talking about your character.
I'm so sorry to hear about your guys' friend. Oh my god. Okay, everyone, go donate to Rambling Connect. Oh my god.
Is the lag better, Melissa?
It is. Is it better? Is it okay?
Yeah.
On your guys' end?
You're great.
Yeah, you're great.
Yeah. You know what's interesting? As you were speaking about that, I was kind of like, gosh, I don't know if that was so much by design all the way as probably a very revealing reflection of my own person at that time in my life, of just being very like buttoned up. I'm like, I got this. I'm super strong, but I'm like a kind of a puppy that is like kind of scared and also wants to be loved. So I think that's, I in one sense, I'd like to take responsibility for that as something that I designed. But I will just commend you for your beautiful and very exposed insight. And yeah, no, that was definitely happening for me, and I'm happy that I let that come through with 2, because I think that's a very real thing. And so, yeah.
Well, just a heads up, and you guys probably know this if you've been to conventions and things, but the reason why we have this audience, the reason why we're so blessed to have all of you here is everyone has a deep appreciation for the writing and the interpretation done through the actors. There's few and far between when the combination comes together so beautifully. And we also have heard from all of your colleagues that have worked that they loved working with each other, which says a lot about your working environment. I mean, really, is there anything bad you can say about anybody that you worked with? In all honesty, I don't think you can. The way these
I have been dying to get this off my chest.
And did you heed the call of the wolf, the whiskey club?
What?
On occasion. What?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought he was asking if I had to pee or something. I was so
No.
These streams do go a while.
I was like, should I? Did we drink whiskey with Joe in his office? Yes, sometimes, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Both.
Fun.
I didn't do a very good job of it though. I really struggle with whiskey.
Do you guys have whiskey clubs in your present productions, like Jan and the Rookie?
No.
No. I mean, I know that they drink, but I'm so super Asian. And one time I allowed myself to be peer pressured. Why I'm Asian ties in a moment. But I allowed myself to be peer pressured to drink some alcohol at lunch. And I lack digestive enzyme to process it. So I actually just get really hot, really red. My elbows get kind of itchy. It's not good for camera or for me personally.
Your elbows get itchy?
Yeah, I get hot from the inside.
That's a first.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I don't participate in the club of alcohol enjoyment at work.
We could do a hot chocolate club instead.
Yeah.
The equivalent of the kids' table. Hot chocolate.
Yeah.
By the way, I want to mention that this episode was directed by the equally lovely and talented Ron Murphy, who guested on one of our episodes as well. And I think he's off in Winnipeg right now, working with our mutual friend Ivan Bartok on our production, who was also a guest on our show. Yeah.
Ron directs all of the Jan episodes.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah.
Have you ladies seen some of the art, some of the dark matter art that's been around? I saw Joe has his cup there. I don't know if you've. Can you hold it up, Joe? Have you been seeing this on the internet?
One of the fans.
Oh, that's Nick the Stick.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I actually remember meeting her in person. She gave me a little card that came in a little case. I'm pretty sure I still have it. She's very talented. She made those pins recently, right?
Yeah,
little cute pins. Yeah.
I met her at a con. Actually, I approached her table. I was like, "Dark Matter is really good." She's like, "Do you know the show?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Well, here you can answer some trivia questions for a chance to win a prize." And, I don't know how I did, to be honest with you, but I ended up buying the cup.
Aww.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the world right now, she's just screaming like, "Oh my gosh, they know me!
No,
They
she knows,
remember
she
me!"
knows. Yeah.
I just need to bring in somebody who's going to pop in. I know she's not in her ideal streaming situation, but she wants to say hi. Hello, Nina Infinity.
Nina!
There she is.
Nina is one of our regular panelists. She is on vacation, spotty reception, but
I just wanted to say hi.
Hi.
I love you.
Hi, Nina.
I love you guys. Sorry I can't be there, but I love you guys. And Melissa, Zoe, you guys are amazing. Love you guys. You guys are fucking awesome.
Bye.
I gotta go.
Hey, thanks for dropping in, Nina.
wait a minute, hang on. She's on vacation. Doesn't she live in Cancun?
I was just going to ask that. Where do you vacation from Cancun?
Norway, maybe? I don't know. Norway.
All right. Do you want to tell us? Let's just before we move on, Zoe. Do you want to just tell us what you're working on now, in case some people don't know what you're doing?
Yeah, I'm doing a comedy called Jan. We shoot it in Calgary. We just wrapped season 3, and I think it's coming out in the fall on CTV. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's very different from Dark Matter, but a good time. It's comedy, which is fun for me.
And what season is that, by the way?
We just shot season 3.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
As you said, directed by Ron Murphy.
All of them directed by Ron Murphy. So we block shoot it. So we did 8 episodes this season, and so it's literally shot like a 4-hour movie almost. We just block shoot every single episode. So the challenge is knowing what on earth you're doing, because you're shooting an episode or a scene from episode 1, 4, 6, 9, and 5 in one day. So you're keeping track of where you're coming from, where you're going, what just happened, and who you're mad at is a bit of a challenge. But
you're also working with Stargate alum Patrick Gilmore.
I sure am. He plays my husband, and him and I hit it off right out of the gates. He's an amazing guy, a really lovely actor, and it's really nice to work with him. And you worked with him, of course.
Yeah,
he's awesome. Yeah.
And Melissa, what do you want to say what you're working on now, or anything that's coming up?
I am about to start filming the 4th season of The Rookie down here in LA, and that
must keep you pretty. How many episodes do you guys do a season?
It's changed every single season. I mean, I think the first time, I think we did 18 and 18, or we did 20 and 18, and then with the pandemic, we dropped 6, and then so we were doing 14, something like that. So that was pretty crazy. Yeah, that's going on right now. I hope to get home at some point. I would really love to see my family. I would really love to be in Canada. It's been a bit of a weird time, and I've kind of just become a hermit, which is wonderful, but going to work is a big adventure. I'm like, oh, the world is outside. So trying to do this after vaccinations and stuff like that, it'll be really interesting seeing if it's any different from shooting during the pandemic, which was crazy.
Yeah, it's hard. It's really hard, isn't it?
I can't believe you guys are block shooting. That's crazy. You guys, I don't know, for everyone out there who doesn't understand all the way what that might mean, it just requires so much technical skill and preparation from an actor. And of course, Zoe would land in a place like that. That's so cool that you guys are doing it that way, and also sounds like so much work.
It's a challenge for sure, but you kind of get used to it, and you just have to prepare each day to know what you're shooting and what state of being you need to be in and where you're coming from, and but we do small versions of block shooting on shows all the time,
but not an entire season.
No, not a whole season. That is unusual, but it works somehow. And we've got Ron Murphy, and we've got a great crew, so it's a team effort for sure. Yeah.
Zoe, do you want to tackle this question before Melissa? Who are your heroes in acting and in life? Ask Gap Stargate.
as actors, I've got a few. You know, Meryl Streep was. It's a bit cliche, but was truly who I sort of watched as a kid and was entirely inspired by, and was just. But you know, obviously, as I've gone, I love Cate Blanchett. I love Daniel Day-Lewis. I have a lot of actors that I look up to. And then in life, God, I don't know. Do I have a hero in life? I don't know. I mean, it's maybe cliche too, but my parents were kind of my heroes.
Oh, that's
Aw.
awesome.
Oh,
It's a good answer. That's a good
Yeah.
answer. What about you, Melissa? Who inspired you?
Oh my gosh. You know, I'm not sure I can say that I have like acting heroes, although there are so many that I'll watch and be like, wow, that is incredible skill. And I would say that in life, I absolutely have many heroes, but the big one is, it's kind of weird saying it out loud, but it's totally true, is Ram Dass. I just as far as like being somebody who preaches presence and allowing a person to be in the moment with whatever is happening, I think is one of those beautiful teachings that has helped me so much in my life, but also in my job in a very, very big way. So I nerd out on him, and it gets me that I'm like only getting familiar with his teachings after he's passed so recently. So that's my hippie answer.
Matt Ryan asked Melissa, have you discussed with Nathan Fillion about both being captains of spaceships?
That were canceled too.
Yeah. Yes, of course we have. I mean, I think it was kind of weird in the first season where we were kissing and stuff, and we would joke about how like people would probably like get a kick out of this on Twitter. But to our surprise, the opposite happened. Nobody liked that very much. They wanted it to stop immediately.
Was that right?
Oh yeah. But yeah, Nathan is incredible and loves that time in his life. I don't think we've ever talked about doing this, but he's in a movie coming up soon, like a Marvel movie. He's moving on to the other world.
I think I told you, Melissa, that when the rookie, I think after his first season, posters were kind of plastered all over kind of the bus shelters, and it was basically the cast. And Akemi, my wife, looked and was like, "Who's that guy with Melissa?" I'm like, "That's Nathan Fillion." She's like, "Who's that?" And I'm like, "Well, he's kind of a famous actor." And no idea, no clue.
Fellow Canadian, he's a good one.
Yeah.
You guys are in this club, and it's not a club you want to be in, but it's a club where the fans go to bat for all of you because you were in this show that people loved, and then it was just gone. And some people get some shows got a movie, some shows got a mini series, Farscape, Firefly. And it's gotta be heartwarming for all of you to have this giant fan support where they want to see more. They want more with you. They want more with the characters you played, and this universe that was created by Joe.
Yeah, I hope we get to do a mini series. That would be so cool.
Now, when everything goes
I hope
back
we would
to
get to be a
normal,
part of it, and you don't age everyone younger.
Yeah.
yeah.
You got to do it soon.
Yeah.
To do it.
Well, the people in the chat are saying that aging is not going to be a problem for you two. So
No. Yeah, in story basically, but I mean, you guys look exactly the same. So I mean, in any case, so I wouldn't even have to worry about.
No, genuinely, it's
Yes.
incredible.
Yes.
let me ask you
Well, it
this.
was only a few years ago.
Yeah, so you look at some actors, especially in Star Trek. The show ends, and it's just like you guys just.
Despite it being only 2 years, you guys have really held up well. I gotta say.
Yeah, we haven't fallen apart.
In a global pandemic, like you guys did
We haven't
great.
turned into crones yet.
Yeah.
Melissa, where would you expect? I want to ask Zoe too. Where would you like your character eventually to go if there was a season 4, 5, and 6? What would your
Oh wow.
or maybe when there's a season 4, 5, and 6.
I would like there to be universal peace and a utopian society that we land on, where just all types of love are accepted, and then we get to see, you know, hopefully their baby one day, and Rio is integrated into the family again. I mean, that's
That doesn't sound like 2.
Yeah.
3 just lives in a farm upstate, just happy roaming the fields with all his weapons.
Yeah, so happy.
Eating ribs and lamb.
What about you, Zoe? Is there anything? Where do you think your character would go?
Well, I don't know, but I was very excited to sort of get into what was going on with Victor. You know, it was really intriguing, and I loved all of what was going on with their dynamic and the android gang of androids. And I just, I would love to just explore what I think Joe had already in mind. I don't know that I need to come up with anything. I think I'd just be excited to play out what he had envisioned in the first place.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
Thank you. No. And then you went through like some like varied hairstyles as well. Right? I mean, although they look very similar, I know those early hairstyles were particularly tight. No?
Yes. It was the process of it. It was incredible. It was a really long process to get it into the tightness that it became, which was always interesting to me because there was teasing involved. And there was a lot involved to get it, and then it would get slicked back, and it was total art piece of artwork, absolutely. But yes, I was that.
I said Renee Chan was our.
That's right, and she's brilliant. And it was, but it was quite a process in hair and makeup to turn me into the android.
How long did it take?
It was a couple of hours each morning. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I would start in hair, and she would do something, and then I would go to makeup, and then that would be done, and then I would go back to hair to finish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Melissa as well, and
you just blow dried her hair and went on set.
and we talked about your outfits, Zoe, but two had some great outfits, especially when she played Portia. She had kind of a sexier vibe, although two obviously was very sexy. And I remember Noreen created that beautiful leather coat for Portia, and we were like, "Oh shit, that's Portia's!" And it was just as simple as sort of having two just taken. So we wrote that into the end of the episode, where basically Portia's like, "Actually, that's my jacket," and two's like, "Well, I'm keeping it," and that was that. And then two got that really cool jacket that I loved. Did you get to keep that one, or no? Or you auctioned that away, right?
I did auction that one away.
Yeah.
There's another
Beautiful.
one.
Yeah. Lovely.
Yeah, it was a good one.
What was somebody asked in the chat? What were some of your favorite scenes together, Melissa and Zoe?
We talked about this in so many panels, but this is my off-the-cuff answer, but I think all of the moments, it's the in-between moments that I nerd out on, that I love and hold dear to my heart, right? And so there were so many things that we would do for camera, or, for what was called in the scene, and we were very close.
Oh yeah.
Very, very close, like so close. And it's a lot. There's a lot of silly moments that come from that. And I think when I think
you'd be standing beside me, and I'd literally turn and go, "Hello, two." It was necessary for the shot. Like it wasn't done on purpose. It was just the way it was being shot. It didn't look like that on camera, but we were literally standing. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned the panels and stuff with you guys going on the convention circuit. Could you please drag Joe with you one of these times? Just go and hunt him down, put a bag over his head. Akemi can help out too, and just drag him out of the house to a convention.
Yeah, I'm surprised you haven't come out to some of those, Joe.
Yeah,
We have to get
I like
you
the
a con
Comic-Con.
agent. That's what
That
it is.
first Comic-Con was interesting in many ways, but it was a lot of fun too, and but yeah, I don't know.
You could cosplay as Evil Joe.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
the 3-piece suit on again.
Right, yeah.
We got a question from Dave Bob out there, kind of playing favorites in the chat. He wants to know from each of you, who was your, and we're not going to ask Joe, but who's your favorite director? I know this is going to get you in trouble, put you on the spot, makes future jobs that much more difficult.
One of your
love
favorite
Ron.
directors.
Like I really, really love Ron. As a person, we were neighbors for the years that I was shooting Dark Matter. Like we would hang out all the time. Actually, Ron and I have a very hilarious origin story, but while I was auditioning for Dark Matter, I met him at an award show. It was crazy. And when I saw him later on the first day at set, or not the first day, but on his first day on set, I was like, it's this guy. So Ron's amazing. And also I learn a lot from watching him. He's really good at delegating and has a clear vision, but isn't like grossly attached to what that vision is. So it makes him an excellent collaborator on set. I mean, Zoe works with him so much more than I do now, but gosh, I really look up to him.
Yes. I concur, and I love Ron actually, and I've worked with Ron for years. I mean, he did a ton of episodes of Lost Girl. I shot a pilot with him a million years ago, so I've worked with Ron for a lot of years, and of course, he does all of the episodes of Jan. And Melissa's exactly right. He's a lovely human being, and he's a good director. His vibe on set, it makes for a real sort of collaborative creativity. But I have to say, I also really, really liked, specifically on Dark Matter, Melanie Orr.
Yeah, we had her on
Recently.
recently. She showed off her, when she brought in that Lego.
Right.
Legos.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, and that was the
She's awesome, and I
episode
dig
too,
her as a
all of
human
the
being
different
too.
pieces.
Yeah, so, but there was a lot of great directors. Like, it's so impossible to say, for me anyway, this one was my, there's a lot of, they all brought something.
Yeah, I have to say, basically, every director brought something, and I loved almost all of them. Almost all of them. But Melissa knows that story. And anyways, yeah.
Anyway.
And of course, the late Steve DeMarco.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we talked about Steve. Yeah.
Well, here's a flashback. This is personal indulgence here. Early on, there was one of you that was going to be the mole. And Joe was playing a game with you sitting all in a semicircle. And he was going to point out to you backstage, not on the show, who was going to be the mole. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
And did either one of you think you were going to be it?
No.
I didn't think it would be me.
I didn't
well,
think
that
it
made
would
it
be
easy
me.
for you.
Yeah, I was just like, where's my secret? No one's talked to me. Like, talk to me.
Yeah.
Well, Alex especially so desperately wanted to be the mole. And on the other hand, Anthony was the guy who was doing a lot of talking about who he thought would be the mole. So I thought those two guys would be the perfect ones to kind of set up, which is why I had Noreen bring them in for that special costume fitting.
I love that you did that. It's cool.
And it was funny. Kind of the most interesting thing I find when I rewatch that video is it comes down to like 3, Anthony Lemke's 3 and 6, and there's a point where I fake give it to 3, and Melissa, who's sitting beside Anthony, just kind of like, she looked so uncomfortable at the prospect that his character would be the mole that I just thought it was like super,
oh my god,
look at this video.
But,
I missed the set.
The swagger.
Yeah,
Look at him,
the Darth Vader theme But and then just Jodel's stand-in. Anyways, but way at the end, when I'm just about to give it to, I don't know if you can fast forward to that.
Look at the babies.
Yes.
Look at Alex.
Yeah, the fact that he was, I wonder if he was actually convinced that he was the mole. No, it wasn't it. No, it's closer to the end.
Anthony and I are not blinking. Like, we're not blinking.
You know what? I'm just gonna let it play the last minute and a half. I'm just gonna let it play so you guys can hear it.
It's hilarious.
Was one of those people, and she was very excited about the prospect of playing a bad guy. Alex Mallozzi Jr., you are not the mole. Oh, come on! Look at the mask! Look at it! Which leaves us with the other person. Two other people. All right. On the one hand, you have Andy Lemke, plays a character of 3, and you think of all the characters, it would be totally out of character for him to sort of throw in with the Galactic Authority. And the other hand, you have Roger Cross, who basically he makes a pretty good pitch for himself, being the mole, given how anguished he is about the fact that you guys are all bad guys. But there's one other characters that's been kind of overlooked, but not by you, Chase Corso, played by Mark Ben David. So basically, I said that you were not the mole. But your character of Chase Corso is also not the mole.
Oh my god.
Come to you, Margaret Ross, character of 6.
Watch Melissa.
Oh no. Roger's like, I knew.
Yeah, Roger did know. He was like, oh, I'm the mole. I'm the mole.
Oh my gosh. The way you slid down in the chair, I relate to that on so many levels in life.
What was going through your mind? Do you remember?
I think that I was, I was probably just not accepting that any one of us was going to be the mole, because it meant that there was going to be like a split in the family. I wasn't thrilled about any of it. I was hoping that it was probably going to just be like, and it's, a clone of the android. It's fine. We'll just, get rid of that one. But yeah.
The orange android.
Yeah.
Go through the
But it worked out in the end.
Yeah.
Of course, we get these awesome geeky questions from this is just the fan. This is what us fans do. And Jen says, what would you do if you met your in real life alternative selves? How similar do you think you would be to them?
You mean the characters they played?
Yeah, I guess what she's saying is that if there was an alternate universe, Melissa, and alternate universe Zoe, is my understanding.
Like if you had met the person from the show as you are today, would you run for the hills?
Are we talking about the character, or if we met our own selves?
I think she's talking about if you met alternative Melissas
I met the
and
android?
Zoe's.
No, it's an in real life alternative.
Okay, so I met Zoe, but another one of me.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I think that's what she's saying.
I think we'd hang right out.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
It sounds like it would be a really good Rick and Morty moment. Like, okay, let's hang out, and then at the end of it, someone has to go. There can't be two.
Well, think of how much easier that would make going to set. Like you just memorize half the pages. Like, good work.
I would love to have another one of me.
Well,
Are you kidding me?
it's the twin you didn't know you had, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right.
I used to date twin sisters, and just one of them, and they would, just to be clear, and they would split up their tests. Like half of them, half would study half, and half to study the other half. So
Could you tell them apart?
I could tell them apart, yeah, except like for once or twice that they tried to, just once or twice, but yeah.
Because I really don't feel like going on a date tonight. You want to grab this one for me, sis? Thanks.
Also, I mean, yeah, we saw Taya. How's Taya doing, by the way? How old is Taya now?
She's 9. She's doing really, really
9.
good. I'm her official caretaker. Like, I don't share her anymore. She's mine. And so I really feel like we've gotten closer. This sounds ridiculous. I don't talk to people very often. I feel like I'm showing my crazy. But I really feel like my dog and I are closer after this like transfer happened. Like I feel like she knows that she's like at home and this is home and that's it. So
I'm like that with my hamster.
Stop it.
You're
You don't
good.
have a hamster. Don't lie. You have a hamster?
Yeah.
What's your hamster's name?
Really?
Coco.
Coco?
How old is Coco?
Like 6 months or 9 mons or something.
Oh.
And she's a dwarf hamster. I'm assuming it's a she. Apparently, well, at the pets where I asked, and they said she's too young to know, but when she's older, you have to open up. And I was like, you know what?
What?
I don't know where on earth this is headed, but I'm just gonna assume she's a girl and leave it there.
Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't
Very
leave
wise.
anything up.
If she bites you a lot, then just be like, okay, you're a he then.
Yeah, that
Oh my
surely
gosh.
can't be how.
Yeah.
Anyway, I stopped it all. The whole thing. I just stopped it mid-sentence and said, thank you. Yeah.
We talk about pets all the time. Kitty's about to bring out her cat, no doubt.
I was gonna say, I gotta find Radar. He usually, being the meteorologist, I have a cat named Radar, and he's gonna get a sister named Doppler here soon, so they're gonna be perfect. I'm gonna go see where he is. He's been meowing in the background, and I'm kind of nervous he's been up to something. I'll be right back.
All right.
Joe,
Guys,
how
I
are your
have to
dogs?
skedaddle.
I have.
I have to go.
You
You have to go, Zoe?
Yeah, I do. But thank
Zoe-
you so much for having
Zoe,
me.
thank you so much for
Oh,
dropping by.
thank you.
I look
Thank you,
forward
Zoe.
to doing a patio lunch at some point.
Let's please do a patio.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks for
Thank you so
coming.
much, Zoe.
Yeah,
It's been an
thank you so
honor.
much.
Bye,
Thank
Joe.
you,
Nice to
Zoe.
meet you.
Bye.
I have sitting right here. Oh.
There he is.
Hi, Nugget. How's it going?
Oh, hang on.
Oh,
There, now she
yes.
looks her best.
Oh, that's very nice. It's like she just had jaw surgery or something.
She is a
Aw.
free water bottle.
Peter,
Yes.
can I put you on camera again before we go? Come here.
Yes.
I
Please.
know, I love you. Okay, ready? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh.
She's like, oh, this sucks. Okay.
I was expecting Tia to be grayer, but she's not.
How dare you?
Last time I saw her, I mean.
She's got a little
Grayer.
bit of like speckling happening on her face. But
No.
Distinguished speckling.
let me fix your lips.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Oh.
Beautiful.
She's a good girl.
Such a good puppy.
Oh, hi, cat.
Oh.
Radar.
Hi, Radar.
Can you say hi? Can you say hi? No.
Oh, cute.
Oh, thank you, bud. He's a sweetie. And he chases storms, which is the ultimate cat goal. So.
That's my two
Melissa-
hanging out down there. Good to see
Katie
you.
chased.
Oh.
Oh, there you go.
So cute.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say that Katie chases tornadoes for a living.
That's so badass.
Thanks.
Wow.
It's
well,
really
like,
fun.
Many, like just balls of energy of protection on you as you do those things.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. My family's coming out here this weekend, and I told my mom, I was like, "Hey, we could go chasing," and she just goes, "Okay." Like, I never expected my parents to be as into tornado chasing as I am, and I'm starting to think it's genetic. This little screw that's loose.
Is there any particular song you play while you're doing it? Like, do you know jam the Lone Ranger theme or anything like
I
that?
have the theme to Twister, which is obligatory.
Yes, yes.
Then I have Thunderstruck by AC/DC.
Yes!
And then I have all the, like, Rocky Like a Hurricane. I got all the weather themed ones, but in particular the theme from The Great Escape. I love that old movie.
Oh, yes.
And it just, there's something about the little, when you're chasing a storm, you're just like, this is ridiculous. And it's so much fun. Highly recommend if you guys ever get the chance.
Hey,
Joe,
I have an idea really quick before I dip out.
Yeah.
Do you think anyone would be interested in a 2 jacket, as you guys could use as like a raffle thing to raise money for Roaring Canuck?
Holy crap, yes.
That would be so awesome.
Probably.
That would be absolutely
Insane.
Okay, well,
yes.
It'd be
Well, we
brief.
figure
I would
out-
buy it.
Yeah.
well,
I will fight you, Adega.
let's connect somehow. Maybe Joe can facilitate a little bit of connection in that way, and let's make that happen. I'm happy to chip it to whoever ends up winning it, but we should, and this is the official plug for it. So if that's something
Wow.
you're interested in, figure out. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Melissa.
Yeah.
You didn't even have to
Thank you.
ask. That's a given.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Melissa.
Adega,
Wow.
if you win
Having
it,
us
you
on.
have to cosplay too. That's going to be a little asterisk on the side. You have to cosplay in it.
Melissa, is it this one? I'm putting up the picture. Is it this you're talking about?
I don't. I'm not gonna lie. I don't totally remember. I have a couple. I have a couple of 2 jackets. That one, I know I auctioned off, but I might have another one because
Ooh.
we had a stunt double, right? So, so there's another one. I'll check. I keep
Wow,
them. I
that's-
have them tucked away. But I'll check.
That's
Unless
very
Joe is
generous
like,
of you,
no, we
Melissa.
need it. We need it for.
We'll make you a new one. We'll make you a new one for the miniseries.
Okay.
We'll splurge.
There we go.
Thank you so much for having me, you guys. It was really fun, and thank you so much, Joe. It's nice to see your face.
It is nice to see you. Oh, I can't want to say hi.
Yeah,
on,
Kemi,
just
come
wants to
say hi.
Oh. You look great. You look great. Hang on. She's fixing her hair.
Aw.
Hi.
That's it? Okay. All right. All right.
So sweet.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Thank you,
All right.
Melissa. It's a
Melissa,
pleasure,
thank
Melissa.
you.
Thank you,
You're always
Melissa.
welcome.
Thank
so
you.
much. See you guys later.
This has been a pleasure.
See ya.
Bye.
An absolute
Bye.
pleasure. Thank you, Melissa.
That was
Oh my
nice.
gosh.
Wow.
That was so much fun.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
That
gonna
was
be like smiling
amazing.
for the rest of the week because of this.
And we even got to see a Kemi too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Very exciting.
Um,
See?
Wow.
So aren't you glad I didn't kill her off? And
I'm never gonna
that's
live
not-
that down as long as I live.
That's not Katie.
No, I'm very glad she is still in
Yeah.
existence.
good.
And just don't cast her in any of your shows because I don't trust you not to just off the character.
Right.
That was another
Wow.
thing with this episode too, with 6 and everything. I'm just like, I need to know if this is another one of those, oh, it's okay, it's sci-fi, or if it's a, haha, 1. Like, I know that you said you wrote it out, how you would wrap things up a little bit. I'm going to have to look. Should I look into that, or should I wait until next week's episode?
No, we'll look into it. So it's sort of like the episode. I'll post them on my blog. I'll post them on Twitter. I'll pin them on Twitter, and then everybody can kind of review, and we can discuss.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are you going to assign us characters, Joe?
Well, there's no actual dialogue. It's not really a read through. It's just maybe something you can you can read prior to. I mean, if it was a script, then yes, absolutely, we could do like a reading. In fact, actually, I think we're talking about doing a potential cast read through at Dragon Con before the cancellation, or even after the cancellation. But we never got to write those scripts. So.
Oh, that would have been so
Wow.
cool.
Wow.
Oh, man.
Thank you, War Dog Heim. I really appreciate it. I do want everybody, and I just there's been so much going on. There were 2 super chats at the very beginning. I'm going to address them. I think one was from Darius, and I have to go fiend the other one. Thank you, War Dog Heim.
Fat Steven was the other one.
Oh, Fat Steven. Thank you. Thanks, Dega. Thank you, Fat Steven, Darius, and War Dog Heim. Please, guys, if anybody wants the super chat, please instead, please go to Ramblings GoFundMe. Thank you, guys. And Joe, I have to ask you this:
Mhm.
is Wexler also an alien?
No, Wexler is not an alien. In fact, actually, well, it's a spoiler alert for the virtual episode, but I'll sort of let you know that he's the one who actually drives the alien out of 2. The android ultimately figures out that the only way to get the alien out is to make the shell they're inhabiting so uncomfortable that they're forced out. So they have to essentially use the stun stick on 2, and 5's like, I can't do it, and Rio's like, it's kind of dishonorable. It's not something I would do. And the android is like, I can't do it, and then Wesley's like, I'll do it. And so he does it, and he forces the alien out, and 2 comes to him, and he's a little nervous afterwards, but she thanks him. And in fact, actually, there were plans to actually make Wexler a regular in season 4. In fact, I kind of floated the idea to Ennis, and he loved the idea. You know, ultimately, I don't know if it would have worked because he was also regular on Blind Spot at the time, but you know, there would, you know, in my mind, I kind of wanted, I like the character that much that I kind of wanted to make him a regular.
I gotta say, Katie and I have talked about this before. Wexler makes us nervous running around with that toothpick in his mouth.
I just want to take it and shove it down his throat. Like, oh, that how unhygienic. Is it the same toothpick, or does he at least change them?
No, he definitely changes them.
Okay, because if it's the same toothpick from like months beforehand, I would have a huge problem.
No, it's not a prop stick.
I know we talked about this a while back. Wasn't that his idea?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
It's such a good ad because it makes me hate his character so much.
I do want to also just recognize again, Melanie, Melissa's. Thank you for that very generous, you know, act of kindness, Melissa. Thank you very much for that. I bet Wexler enjoyed it. Nick, you haven't drawn a Wexler, have you, Nikki? I don't
Just
think.
draw a toothpick. It's good enough.
Joe, I want to ask you this question. It was it possible that you might introduce, or what kind of brand new characters might you have introduced, if you can talk about that?
In terms of new characters, I mean, well, basically there was the character of Crichton, who is kind of an augmented human who 2 entrusts her child with, and who basically is on kind of like sentinel alert when they come knocking. There's Karina, who's 5's sister, and those were the main characters. But mostly, I kind of wanted to explore our existing characters and kind of focus on, like, I wanted to increase Jeff Teravainen's role in the series, in that with the alien invasion, the Galactic Authority would offer the crew of the Raza a deal, and essentially they become employees of the Galactic Authority, and Lieutenant Anders is their frontman. So essentially they have to go out and take out like these alien ships that are feeding on stars for power, and basically destroying solar systems in the process. And Aisha Issa's Solara Shockley would return to I forget what I called it, the Stellar Defense Force, I think. And she would have basically been going on ops with them. So, and of course, Truffaut would have been involved because all the corporations would have come together to sort of, you know, combat this alien threat. So really, more than anything, it would have really been revisiting our established characters and really giving them more in the long run.
Joe, we have 2 people on the panel who are new. You know, Katie's been watching one at a time, and Loki's just started watching. I want to ask both of them. Maybe I'm just going to start with Loki. Loki, what are your first impressions of Dark Matter? You know, now that you've partake of our little hobby here.
I'm about halfway through. I did skip ahead and watch the last episode in the black ships. I was like, oh crap, what is this? What's going on? I've got to catch up. But I did watch the last episode before this. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it, and I don't know how this slipped through the gate, as I guess it would be the coolest way to say it. I don't know how it slipped through my gate, because usually I'm all in on things like this, and I missed this. I don't know how I missed it. I don't know why I missed it, but I missed it, and getting to catch up has been an absolute real treat. I obviously I love Stargate. I said that earlier, and I'm loving this so far. It's really good. And I'm starting to recommend it to other people. Oh, I haven't watched that. Is that a good show? I'm really enjoying it. You should check it out. So that's pretty much how I felt about it. Getting to catch up and watch this.
I mean, our community complains a lot about
Yes.
certain shows, and this is a good alternative, guys.
Yes, it is. Adega knows I recommend independent a lot, the independent creators, because they aren't weighed down by what is going on right now. Because we do complain a lot. We see the things we love. We see the shows we love being taken over and changed and turned into something they were never intended to be. And to see something like this and to go, God, how did I miss this? That's huge, because I should have heard about this, and of course I didn't until PJ.
Well, the reason you didn't hear about it is also the reason why you're talking about having that freedom, is the fact that Sci-Fi picked it up as an acquisition, so they didn't really invest the money into it to make it an original. So they didn't really promote it, and as a result, it went under the radar for a lot of people. And I'm constantly hearing from people who were discovering the show for the first time. But on the flip side, I got to make the show I wanted to make. So because a lot of these other broadcasters weren't heavily invested financially, they kind of stepped back and allowed me to sort of tell my story, which was, I would trade that in for cash, every time.
Sure.
Yeah.
Katie, your first impressions of the finale.
I think my impression was, I'm so glad that I watched this week to week, as it originally came out, because you get quite a bit more from it. Because I've been binging shows for the past few months. This has been not only a great show, but a great experience. Like, everyone at work, my family, they all know Katie on Mondays, don't even like Dark Matter. And it's very rare to find such a quality fan base. Like you said, a lot of times people argue and fight over little nuanced things, and like it becomes blown up and toxic sometimes in fandom. I have not encountered that with Dark Matter. Like, the crew, the cast, the fandom, all of it just seems so nice, and it is. And that's probably going to be the thing that sticks with me about the show for the longest, is that it's just so incredibly fun. And you feel good, even if someone just kills off all the characters you like. The nurse, I'm not going to forgive you for him. It's fun, and this show just boosts that to a whole new level. So, as far as the finale goes, I really enjoyed it up until the screen went black.
Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's not you.
Just for the record, for the fandom menace, Loki, is Dark Matter woke?
No, not at all. No, you've got strong female characters that are actually strong female characters. There is no BSing. There is no, well, they must look manly to be strong female. No, there's none of that.
No pandering. That's what they said.
Yes, no pandering. And there doesn't need to be. You can have a strong feminine woman in a television show that doesn't have to pander, that doesn't have to be manly, that doesn't need, they don't need it. They can keep their femininity and still kick ass, take names, and steal your lollipops.
Yeah, they can totally be themselves. Like, and I brought it with Melissa and everyone earlier on. These characters are so well crafted and portrayed, and that just brought out everything from the show. You, like, some shows you say, okay, they left so much on the table, they left so much, like, as far as what could have happened. This show doesn't do that. Like, you get every ounce of beautifulness out of the script and the acting, that it feels so fulfilled.
Another thing too about this, which is a wonder, and sorry, I've seen this 5 times now, and Joe's heard me say this, but the good shows very rarely, if at all, will play off of pre-existing shows, different shows. You know, oh, we saw this on The Simpsons, or this was on Star Trek, or this was on Star Wars, or this story came from there. This is original thought. This is original characters. They stand on their own without having to rely on something that was made before. And it's a wonderful thing to see that, instead of what they call creators in a lot of the different shows now, where they are borrowing heavily from things of the past and then altering them to express whatever it is that's on their mind and comes out of their Wheaties in the morning.
But I think all, especially sci-fi, you're drawing on what has come in the past, and it's sort of how you present it. Like when after the first episode aired, you know, the biggest critique I saw online were people like, oh, this is, you know, the character of 3 is just Jane from Firefly, and this character is this, and this character is that. And because they didn't have any memories, there was actually no grounding beyond their kind of empty ciphers. And I mean, that was kind of intentional on my part, the fact that they got numbers instead of names. I very much wanted them to be in a way kind of like cliches. And so we tackle stuff like cloning and time loops and you know, alternate realities. But what I kind of set out to do was kind of in this series over and over again was to kind of present these kind of chestnuts and then undermine them or present them in a way that hadn't been done. So the character of 3 seems like the gunslinger, the Jane character. He's a character that many fans like Katie hated in the beginning, and then as the show progresses, you kind of peel the onion on the character, and you realize that that's who they seem on the surface. Yet, you know, once in time, you know, they become so much more. And I think that was satisfying about you know, when I was writing those scripts, is I knew where I wanted to go, and that I had the time to be able to kind of slowly but surely reveal these characters over time.
I've never experienced in all of my fandoms, which there are so many random ones, plug, but I've never had a character that I so vehemently hate in the first episode, and then they end up becoming my favorite, which everyone predicted. The comment section predicted it. Like, they're right. I loved that you took the time to develop him, so I didn't just hate him.
Part of what I meant, you know, you said you were almost on the you know, cliche type blank slates with these people, but she even Katie made a T-shirt of giving her emotional issues because it goes in directions where people didn't expect, which is a wonderful, refreshing thing.
Speaking on what Adega brought up, of course you've got shows that lean heavily on what others have done, but Joe, you have a writing credit for the 200th episode of Stargate where you almost poke fun about that the whole thing. You have the characters dressed up like Star Trek characters. You have a scene from Farscape in Stargate that I just laughed my ass off about. Yes, and you almost poked fun at that with your own show. That hey, we've got our own thing. We're not everybody else.
Yeah, but also sort of keep in mind, and I can't speak for other sci-fi shows, to be honest with you, because I don't know, so I can't comment on them. But I've been to sci-fi panel my life, and Brad and Rob and the rest of the writers on Stargate are all sci-fi fans. So, you know, it's a genre we very much love. So, you know, that 200th episode was our kind of salute to sci-fi in general. And I wrote the Farscape bit because I loved Farscape. In fact, I loved Farscape so much that when Rick left and we were looking for someone to replace, you know, to come in and replace him, I was like, get Ben Browder. Sci-fi would love him, and he did.
Gutsy move.
And then we brought Vala in, And like I said, we wanted to make our series regular, and the network was like, no, it'll be too much like Farscape, even though the characters were completely different, especially Vala. And then after they saw 6 episodes, they were like, let's make our series regular. And we're like, well, at that point, we can't. But if we get another season, we'll make it regular. And we did, so we did.
That was beautiful. I loved both of them coming in because I was a huge Farscape fan. That was one of those shows that I couldn't stand when it first came out, but because of the characters and because of the development, strong female characters, strong male characters, an evil villain that could rival Darth Vader in Scorpius. I love that show, and to see both of them back together again on Stargate, that was a huge treat for me. I got so excited about that.
Yeah, same.
Joe, with regards to the merchandise, it's been suggested. Sorry, go ahead. You were going to say something.
No, I was going to say there really was no merchandise on Dark Matter, unfortunately. I mean, that's like another, thing, because we weren't sort of a big studio. That really would have been up to the production to do, and I don't think they Prodigy Pictures, and I don't know if they saw any real kind of money in merchandising, which was too bad. I would have loved to have seen, Funkos and
yes. Well, if you can there's the custom Funkos now, and if you can get that like a little broader scale, you could totally make your own Dark Matter set. I could see that.
What I was going to ask Joe was that with regards to the merchandising that you said obviously doesn't exist, is that has it ever been part of your idea to maybe include that in a pitch, in an upcoming pitch?
No, that's a conversation for Prodigy Pictures. Not really like it really wouldn't have anything to do with the pitch. It would be more kind of after the fact.
I see. Yeah. Joe, by the way, so guys, didn't you guys love the special effects in the last 5-10 minutes of the episode?
I have been dying to bring that up.
Yes.
That final explosion with the black ships coming through, that was impressive.
Again, Lauren Bancroft Wilson, visual effects supervisor, and his amazing team.
Brilliant.
You mentioned before, do you know what they're working on now?
I'm not sure what Lauren is working on.
We probably have to go back to that interview we did with him.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, anything space battle, I'm a total geek for. I love it.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I mean, I love the space effects. One of the things that I kind of in retrospect, I gave the note, but I guess I didn't give him enough time. But in this episode and in an early episode, I find the ships are too close together. That's my note. I mean, it certainly makes it more dynamic. That was the argument. It's more dynamic, but I feel as though the ship should be.
And they're all on a horizontal plane.
Yeah, well, like, actually, no. There are some that are in this shot, yes, but in there are a couple of other shots where they're actually not.
Okay.
If you go back to old sci-fi, you've got ship-on-ship engagements where they were very long-range engagements, and then you got Wrath of Khan where you almost had this dogfight between two ships, this knife fight, and it seems like ever since then, that is what you get is these close-on, neck-to-neck engagements where they're right next to each other, when in reality, you could have from hundreds of thousands of kilometers away.
Yes, that's my point. Realistically, well, I mean, realistically, like, theoretically, realistically, you would be dealing with rail guns and whatever missiles from, many miles away.
Man, some of the things that I've written about happen to deal with missiles that are put in a shell outside of the target, and then you have to sit back and wait for a couple hours, and then you come in and bring the energy weapons where everything hits all at once. It's long, prolonged, tracked it out because of distance.
Joe, could it be also that because they know they're only going to get so many seconds on screen, they wanted to?
Yeah, no, absolutely, that was it. they want to make the most.
I've heard too. That's why they do sound, is just to give it an excitement.
Yes, no, that's it too. I mean, again, theoretically, there is no sound in space, so I think Firefly didn't have any sound in space, right?
Right.
The space battles. Yeah. Well, we just always have against that one is really just dramatic license.
Oh.
Yeah,
Here's someone's puppy.
she's scratching her ear. She talks a lot.
She's so cute. This when you saw the portal open up and you had the unsteady camera and it was just like that. Oh my gosh, that played right off of the unsettled feeling. I loved that shot. That was probably my favorite shot of the episode.
Joe, I have to point this out. Isn't the Planet with the Rings also the Sci-Fi Network logo?
Is it?
Good thing it exploded.
Don't make him mad.
Well, I did. No, but at this point, we didn't know we were canceled. In fact, actually, as I said, we were, we wrapped. We were like, hey, actually, the ratings are pretty good. There's no doubt we'll come back. I basically sold the house in Vancouver, moved to Toronto, and then basically we found out we've been canceled. So after basically we convened the room and we spun ideas for season 4.
All right, I just need to say this, Sci-Fi. Joe put an Easter egg right there in his final episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just put an Easter egg, a Sci-Fi Channel Easter egg, and you guys cancel him. Jeez.
Rude.
Anyway.
Without going into anything, obviously, you guys are going to talk about next week. Is there anything you can say about the black ships?
Really, I mean, they're of alien design. I think they actually uploaded a couple of the concept art for the black ships. They're actually really cool. And no, I mean, basically, they've come to our reality because theirs is dying, and they're going to essentially feed off our stars, and that's the game plan, and destroy solar systems. They're not evil. They're just looking to survive, and this is how they intend to survive, and they consider humanity kind of an inferior race, sort of like we would consider ants. So the plan was to focus on the black ships and the alien invasion for season 4. That was going to be the 4th chapter, and then the 5th chapter would have been the android rebellion.
So they're just hungry.
Yes, exactly.
Joe, and I should probably save this question for next week. I'll save it for next week. Let's take a quick look at the. Joe sends us some behind the scenes photos every week, and oops, 1 second.
Oh yeah, now I can watch the blooper reels. Sweet. I just realized it.
There's a lot of them. Like I said, I have like 15 minutes worth of bloopers.
By the way, guys,
I love those.
Joe has his own YouTube channel with a lot of cool stuff on it. I'm gonna put a link in, and guys, just a reminder, really quick, if you guys can contribute to the Rambling Canuck campaign, we appreciate it. I'm gonna leave this up for 2 seconds while I pull up these images that Joe has sent us. And Loki, can you say anything else? Can you want to just say something really quick about Canuck while I'll pull this up?
Thank you, PJ. Seriously, guys, thank you so very much. Each and every one of you that donated, shared, anybody that, if you can't donate, please share this out. Canuck is such a wonderful guy. He has been part of this community. He's been part of the fandom. The work he did on History and R&R is absolutely excellent. He is just a wonderful guy, and it sucks that this is going on in his life. And any help you can do, whether it's a donation, whether it's a share, whether putting it on Facebook, letting people know about it, thank you so very much.
Yeah. Okay, you guys are gonna love these pictures, by the way. And just for as somebody in the health field, just so awareness for our community. There's a lot of bad habits in our nerd community. Guys, please take care of your hypertension. Guys or girls, hypertension is not it's not something to be overlooked. All right, here we go with for the first picture. You're gonna love the first picture. All right. Here we go.
Yes. Yes.
This is, yeah.
Dr. Evil.
I was just carrying my laptop around with me, and I think those are my ninja cat socks. I used to wear the suit, three-piece suit with the cufflinks. I varied cufflinks, and the ninja cat socks, and the tie. Yeah, that was my production look.
Yeah, you wanted the Vader competition?
Yeah. And then behind Alison Hepburn was our script supervisor, story editor. And on the right is Carrington Harper, who was our assistant to visual effects supervisor.
They look slightly amused and scared at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, he's gone full megalomania.
Yeah. All I need is Suji on my lap.
Photoshop. The fans have Photoshop.
Joe, if you, I would imagine if you pick your suit for season 4 or for the miniseries, maybe it will help manifest. The universe will help manifest.
I have my rotation. Yes, I should start wearing this. Get back into my suits. I have like a dozen of them.
By the way, Joe, when you post, I've been wanting to ask you, when you post and you say in rotation, what does that mean?
It means basically what I'm watching now.
Oh,
so usually we've been watching anime, and so basically I will put a GIF of the anime we're watching, and if you know anime, or if you're eagle-eyed and you can recognize the anime, I'm always very impressed, because there's just so much anime out there.
Have you seen a show called Rising of the Shield Hero?
No.
Absolutely wonderful. I just watched the first season. They are getting a second season in October. Absolutely wonderful. It is not it's not your normal anime. It is very different than a lot of the stuff I've seen. Absolutely wonderful show.
I'll check it out. And I think someone asked me how many socks I have. I have easily. How many would you say I have? No, my wife said first guess is 300. I don't think I have 300 pairs of socks. 2, 4, 6.
Unique socks. How many unique socks do you own? Says Susanna.
At least 100, maybe.
Wow.
My wife is down. My wife is dubious. I have a lot of socks. I have a lot of cufflinks. I have a lot of handkerchiefs, pocket handkerchiefs, and I have a lot of ties. So I really like to mix and match. But I only have like a dozen suits, so it's not crazy.
And thank you, John Burns. John had to put a title to this picture. Joe's mentally going through sci-fi trading card deck. Need him, whacked him, whacked her, need her, whacked her. Thank you, John. That was funny, John. Thank you, John. All right, next picture.
Oh yeah, so this is part of the station under construction. You put the building the skeleton first, and then you kind of build out the walls afterwards.
So with most productions, when you're done with a set, like you realize you aren't going to use it, or if the show doesn't go on, are they just thrown out, or are they recycled for others? They're just thrown out?
No, they're thrown out usually. I mean, I remember on Stargate, it it costs you a lot to obviously build a set, but it costs you a lot to strike a set and throw it away. So what a lot of productions do is they sell the set to another production. So on Stargate, for instance, I think there was like a movie called like 10.0, which was an earthquake movie that made use of a White House set, and they were going to scrap it. And they asked, does anybody want it? We said yes. And so we took that set and we had a White House set on SG1. Atlantis, part of Atlantis was actually part of I think the Blade 2 or Blade 3 set structure.
Wow.
Yeah, and so for instance, in our show, the prison cells that were built for the beginning of season 2 were reused as corridors, like stacked together to create these really cool corridors at the end of season 3. So that's our brilliant production designer Ian Brock.
Wow.
I was going to say, I could go dumpster diving outside of some studios here, and we could totally have fun, guys. We could put together a whole fan film.
Yes, I say yes to Dark Matter stocks, by the way.
That happened with the original Star Trek set too. The original bridge set, they threw that away, and it got picked up. I think it got picked up by a college, if I'm not mistaken. But they saved the original bridge, the captain's chair, and all of that.
I mean, like Batman, the original 1960 series, they were canceled. I think where they were on CBS, and then they got picked up by ABC, but they had already trashed the sets, so they couldn't do another season, which is heartbreaking, because I would have loved to have seen another season of that show.
Oh, that's depressing.
So Nikki's got another project there, huh?
I know, I see that. Sucks. Amazing. Okay, and this was our last prep meeting, and there our left is Ron Murphy, our director, who we talked about. Behind him is Norman Denver with the hat, Noreen Landry, and the rest of the gang. There's Ian Brock with the beer at the back.
Wow. Joe, what kind of like behind the scenes when you're talking to some of these professionals you've been so close with, do they keep asking you any news on new Dark Matter? Do they keep?
They do. They also asked me what's the next show I'm going to get up and running, because I did Utopia Falls, which wasn't my show, but I was a showrunner. But I brought back as many of my Dark Matter crew as I could, which was nice. I mean, basically, they know, if they work for me, I will do my best to ensure the production is properly prepared. They're not going to stress out. I mean, they're going to stress out, but certainly not as much as a lot of other productions out there. And, it will be a positive working environment. So hopefully I can do that. I can bring that to them with a new Dark Matter miniseries or something else.
And I never press you on anything, Joe, but will you be able to do all that while you're working on new Stargate?
I will find a way. So, yeah, I mean, I keep on saying I'm actually now with the Dark Matter thing. I'm actually juggling 9 different projects in various stages of development. But in this business, you never know what's going to go. And as I said, it's always the last thing you expect. I thought Dark Matter was dead, and another show that I had developed was about to go, and then in 24 hours that show was dead, and Dark Matter got picked up. So who knows?
Jeez.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a whiplash industry.
It is.
Wait, hold on. I'm having some.
I would love it if there was a TV channel that was just shows that were canceled before their time, and they just picked it up and been like, you know what? If there's enough of a fan base, let's do it.
Brad Weatherly, our script man on set. So his job was always to track the various scenes, and he would make sure Zoe put a cup of hot chocolate down on the table with her left hand in that shot, and he's continuity on set. And he would actually, this was a special look on Friday, because he would be very casual for most of the day, but it would be dress up Friday because I would wear the suit.
Joe, when things come in, it's true. Things come in trends. What happens if you get like 10 things picked up at one time?
I don't believe that. I will be lucky if one thing gets picked up. I will be honest with you. I just it's always a classy problem. You think, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And I'm super busy. I mean, I'm writing pilots and for the most part, it's paid work. Thank you. But this process is just takes so long that I think I actually, where was it? I put like a graph. I don't know if I can share it anyways, but I put up a graph on Twitter where basically it's like relative time chart. And the first one is like notes calls, and then the next one is weddings, and then the third one is friends' children's birthday party, and then the fourth one is the lifespan of your average star, and then the last one, the biggest one, is waiting for development work to pay off, and that's it. I mean, you're just constantly waiting. So really, the first one across the gate, I will say yes to, and then the rest can go back on the shelf. So. Yeah, book now to avoid disappointment is what I'm telling the networks.
And just a follow-up question from John Burns: how's the Nina Infinity project coming?
Yeah, that's another one. That's number 10. That's my other one. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And let's see. Next picture is.
There we go.
Why am I? Oh, okay. I was doing something wrong.
At the bottom. Yeah. Well, there we are in our Marauder, and
nice picture.
Yeah, there's the guys with their sides, those little yellow, look like little booklets. That's all the dialogue for the day. And so here, Anthony is refreshing his memory before we shoot the scene. And I say yes to Timescape. Actually, I had a conversation about Timescape today. We'll see how things go.
Ooh.
Oh. Can you tell us a little bit more about Timescape real quick?
Yeah, Timescape actually was really inspired by episode 309 of Dark Matter. Isn't that a paradox? Where they hide out in suburbia. So very much, it's like an entire series, not necessarily based on that premise, but sort of tonally very similar. And it's basically about four of the 24th century's most wanted, who basically escape or escape from a maximum security prison. Three humans and an alien who is an expert on Earth culture, but really slept through most of his classes, so he doesn't know anything, but he kind of makes it up as he goes along. And they basically escape to the suburbs of the 21st century, where they plan to sort of hide out for 24 hours, recharge their time machine, and then travel back and resume their lives. And the time machine fucks up at the end of the pilot, and they're basically stuck. And so the show is sort of them trying to reassemble the time machine, while they have to actually trying to get real jobs and try to meanwhile they've kind of torn a hole in space-time, so all these like weird anomalies start to come through the breach, and they set up a paranormal detective agency as cover to basically hunt down these weird creatures. So it's very much like I said, a very kind of fun sci-fi series, very much in the vein of episode 309.
Wow.
And
Cool.
and also because it's totally very similar, I think it would be a great opportunity for crossover and have kind of the Dark Matter characters come in and visit on occasion.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yes.
The genius at work.
Yeah, yes. We'll see how it goes.
And Joe, we have to ask you, what happens to 6?
Well, you're going to find out when you read the virtual episodes.
At least it's mentioned. That's good.
Yes.
We get some closure.
Look at these two. So they went to school together.
Oh,
Was
really?
it acting school or school? Yeah. So Ennis and Zoe. Yeah. By the way, Ennis is totally unlike Wexler in real life. He's actually a super guy.
He doesn't like toothpicks?
Yeah, go figure. I don't know if he likes toothpicks.
It looked like he had taken over. It looked like he had taken over Three's role while eating during the episode because Three had been kidnapped.
Yeah, yeah, a little. Okay, and there's Ron checking that the window for the shot out the window. Behind him was our DP, Craig. Beside Craig is Joe Turner, our A camera operator, and in front of him is Chris Binney, our first AD.
I loved all the scenes in this episode with Three and Portia. Like there was such an underlying humor of it all that I really liked.
And we had a great interview with Ron Murphy, guys. If you haven't seen that, if you missed it, go check it out.
Oh my gosh, I see Nick DeStick, so many random fans. I will just for you do a Wexler with a toothpick.
Excellent.
Good. So I can step on his face every day.
Joe, what is Akemi's favorite episode in Dark Matter?
I think it's 309, the one where they go back to Suburbia. That's her favorite episode, yeah. All right, and here's our he's setting up our shot here.
Now,
That's that same set that we saw they were building earlier.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, this is the finished look.
I'm always fascinated when you have them like in the restraints and they're behind their back. Those are breakaways, right? So like you call
yes,
cut.
Yes.
Okay, finally.
Yes.
That'd be a hilarious prank if they weren't. Just, all right, guys, have a nice day.
Oh yeah.
Aww.
And so this is the we basically had one quarters that we would redress, and the walls would wild, meaning basically you could they would pull out kind of like plugs, and you could basically shoot through. So when you shot this way from where Roger's point of view is, it would be like a wall, and then you pull out the wall and get the camera in there so you can get them in this angle.
So Yodel would basically have green hair all the time, right? Even out of work.
Yeah, until she would go home, and then she would kind of mix it up and go blue during hiatus. I remember actually meeting her for she went to a con one year and she had blue hair, which was my favorite.
Cool.
There's Ivan Bartok, co-exec producer, we know. Zoe and Roger, very relaxed, discussing the scene.
The other day, I was watching the Sci-Fi Channel in Spain, and it happened to catch Roger Cross's appearance on Stargate.
Oh, cool.
A very young Roger Cross.
Yeah. He has aged well, though.
He does. Oh, there's Alex caught in the act. Yeah, I have that jacket. I love that jacket.
Nice. That is cool.
Yeah.
This is a meme, like breakfast time.
Yeah.
If you take out the fact that he's standing up, just like
Yeah. It was really nice to see them all back on the ship again.
Yeah.
Even though I don't like Rio, it was still nice.
Well, the plan for Rio, I can sort of tell you, because is it covered in the virtual seasons? I think maybe it is. Maybe I'll let you read it. And if it's not, then I'll tell you what the plan was.
Okay.
Okay.
Because I need to know.
I mean, to me, it seems like he's going to redeem himself. But
yeah, but there was a kind of a very unique way I was going to do that. But we'll read the. I'll post the virtual episodes, and we'll see.
So long as it keeps messing with Katie's trust
Yes.
issues, then we're good to go.
I love this
Exactly.
photo. Love this photo. This is that's Melissa. And,
Aw.
yeah.
That's a great picture.
Yeah. And there's one. Being a
Have a
director.
vision.
Yes. Yeah.
I love the. I think that's a grip in the back with all the tape rolls.
Yes. Yes.
Like
Well,
if I were to ever work on a production, I would have all the tape.
well, that's it. I mean, that their job is to sort of mark the or mark the marks, really. So when an actor decides to stand somewhere, they get their mark. I forget what each actor gets a different color, so they know where their mark
cool.
is.
They get to pick their color.
Maybe, I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Oh, Lynn Cox says you did cover what happens with Rio in the virtual series. Perfect, excellent.
Yay.
Hmm.
Good.
Awesome. Well, that was the last picture. And so Joe says that we're going to have another Dark Matter Monday next week.
Yeah,
Woohoo!
we can discuss the virtual episodes, and that will be our final Dark Matter Monday.
It's been such a long journey.
It has. Thank
I
you.
don't want my Monday nights to be free.
Love every bit of it. Absolutely.
Yeah. It has been an amazing journey, Joe, and it's been an honor to be able to go through this with you, and thank you again, really.
Well, thank you. I mean, I am touched that you guys took the time to organize this, and so I was always more than happy to participate, and I've always been very receptive to fan interaction. So
It's
it's been a lot of
appreciated.
fun. Yeah, my pleasure.
Loki, I was about to start doing Mandalorian Monday, and I said, you know what? I said, I think I'm going to do Dark Matter Monday, and when Joe said he would participate, I was like, wow.
Seal deal.
Wonderful choice. Absolutely wonderful choice to do Dark Matter instead of Mandalorian. I applaud your decision, sir.
Alrighty. I want to thank everybody. Guys, I'll just show really quick again. Ramblings GoFundMe. Please, if you can, check out, help out, tweet it out, share it. If you guys see it on Twitter, pass it around. He's a good man. By the way, a lot of you guys don't realize this, but his co-host recently passed away, of course, Admiral Doom. He's been through a lot lately. They had that show. They had the history of R&R together, and Admiral Doom passed away. So guys, show him some love, and thank you again for all your support.
He really is one of those true fans that cares more about the show than whether he's right or wrong, because he thinks Picard's great. I think Picard's horrible. I'm right. He's wrong. but we have come together in this brotherhood of we love the IP so much that it doesn't matter whether he's wrong and I'm right. We just love the stuff we watch, and we love the things that we love, and that matters more than anything else. Whether we agree on a show or disagree, he's always been that guy that's like, no, this is what fandom is about, is sitting down and saying, well, I like this, you might not like it, but I like it. But at the end of the day, we like the IP and love the IP so much that it's connected us. Really great guy, Rambling.
And everybody is thanking Joe. Yes, thank you, Joe, for doing this Dark Matter rewatch, and thank you, Pug Mom Akemi, for joining us.
Yes, Akemi.
She says, hi.
And one final super chat. Katie, will you watch Spill Food on Yourself this week?
I will. It'll probably be an anime. I'm starting to get into it, and I see myself becoming a weeb every single day.
Thank you, John Burns. Thank you. So I will give Joe the last word. Joseph, you have the last word.
As always, thank you very much. Greatly appreciated. I really enjoy these Dark Matter Mondays, and kind of sad that they're coming to an end. But hopefully, I will be able to spend the free time working on that Dark Matter miniseries, so we can resume Dark Matter Monday sometime later next year.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Loki. Thank you, Katie, Adega, Nina, for popping in. Thank you, Melissa and Zoe. It was such an honor. If you guys are still listening, it was such an honor to have you both. You're always welcome, and it was just a real treat. Today was a real treat. Thank you again, Joe. I want to thank everybody who's helped out with the GoFundMe. Thank you again, Melissa, for that very generous act. We will see where that goes. We'll be in touch. Nick.
Dega, it's mine. It's mine.
Thank you, Rapunzel, Matt Ryan, Nikki, the Time Prophet, Mark, Galinda, Tiantelli, Neil, Purple Valkyrie. Thank you, Purple Valkyrie, for everything. Sarah, Kareen, Tony, Susanna, Uncharismatic Music. So many people in here today. Thank you, Steven Seagal. I'm sorry I missed that first super chat. And Darius, thank you guys, everybody. Be safe. And we will be back next week with the beginning of season 4 and the final episode of Dark Matter Monday. Thank you, guys.